thinking about joining the AQC and working with Carissa, stop thinking about it and just do it. It has been a game changer.
The support, the no judgment zone, as well as the ability to grow through both difficulties and celebrations.
Carissa pours her heart out into creating and giving us strategies, prompts, golden nuggets that allow us to soar.
So if you're a coach or an entrepreneur who is ready to rise.
Welcome to Iconic Leadership, the podcast for female entrepreneurs who know they're here to lead, not just build a business. This show is for women stepping into the Alpha Queen era, where leadership becomes identity, power is embodied, and success is created from the inside out. Here, we explore sovereign leadership, expansion, vision, purpose, business, and the inner work that is required to build an empire that fits the woman you are becoming. Strategy matters, but who you are matters more. I'm Carissa Atkins, and this is Iconic Leadership. Welcome to the new standard of the Alpha Queen power. Welcome back to Iconic Leadership, the show where we elevate how women lead and decide and build businesses that actually match the woman that they are becoming. So if you are here, I'm Carissa. I'm the founder of the Alpha Queen Collective, where we support ambitious women leaders, founders, and CEOs who are done playing small and ready to rise into embodied sovereign leadership. And at the AQC, I particularly help women evolve their identity, energy, and strategies so that they can scale powerful, profitable businesses without abandoning their truth, their nervous system, or their soul. So remember, the AQC, we're kind of anti-hustle culture here. This isn't about performative leadership. This is about becoming the woman who can hold the vision that she has been called to lead. And today's conversation is a perfect embodiment of that mission. So buckle up, because today's guest is pure fire. I cannot wait to introduce Angel Cottrell. She is the founder of Apollo Consulting Group and a transformational force for founders, CEOs, and powerhouse leaders who are ready to rise. She is a best-selling author, multi-best-selling author, I should say, international and award-winning speaker, embodiment coach, and soul-led strategist. And when Angel shows up, transformation happens. The energy shifts, the room recalibrates, and leaders remember who they're here to become. Angel is about radical reinvention, embodied leadership, and turning breakdowns into breakthroughs. She's not here to play small, ladies. She's here to guide powerful people through the evolution required to lead at the highest level. Her mantra says it all. Transformation isn't about discovering who you are. It's about creating who you choose to become. So get ready for a powerful conversation that will challenge the way you see leadership, business, and yourself. With that, welcome the unstoppable Angel Cottrell to the Iconic Leadership Show. Hello.
Good morning, Carissa. Thank you so very much for having me here today. What a wonderful way to start our week.
Woohoo! I know, right? Not talking like Monday motivation, full force in the morning. I love it. Thank you so much for being here. I've gotten to know you now over the last almost year. I cannot believe April is when we first met back in Bakersfield, California. Angel was running a phenomenal, right? She was part of a board that was a part of running this phenomenal event for women entrepreneurs. And I met her, and I just remember, right, going up to her end of the day and just thanking her for her energy and her presence. It's electric. And like, you guys, you're going to freaking fall in love with this woman. So if you haven't already, I'm sure you've done a little Google search, but go ahead and stalk Angel a little bit. I know she's on LinkedIn and a few other social media profiles, but you guys, she is a phenomenal woman and I cannot wait to dive in. So Angel, before the titles and the success and the leadership that you are now known for today, there was a moment in time. Right? So can you share a moment in time from your own journey where a breakdown became the catalyst for your next level of success, and really what that taught you about leadership and self-trust?
Carissa, I think that you're referring to what I talk about in the book as the shit show of my 30s. For those of you on radio right now, I'll actually be 55 years old in in a few months. And I wear the badge of my age proudly because definitely do not want to go back. And I appreciate all of the learning that I've acquired. But what happened was that I was one of those people that really went out the gate young and in my mid 20s and was able to build a multi-million dollar nonprofit that was all about truly changing people's lives. And it was a nonprofit that worked with people 24/7, and it was in Santa Barbara, and it was very progressive in terms of the type of work that we did. And you can read a little bit more about that in the story. But I hit a point in time in my mid 30s that what I now refer to as my divine collapse. And at the time, what happened in my mid 30s was that in every single pillar of my life, it burned down to ash. And nothing within my landscape looked the same. And I certainly did not look the same. And I was not capable for a period of time of utilizing any type of coping mechanism to help me learn how to support myself. And I had to learn that I had created that breakdown to have a breakthrough. And I had created the tower moment in my life to clear the decks. And I had prayed for that, but I didn't get to choose the delivery method. And I certainly did not get to choose the price that I paid. And one of the things I think it's really important to understand is that transformation is not something that happens in a day. Transformation, many times, is an evolution that happens over an extended period of time. And when you are in that type of uncertainty, it becomes very, very difficult at times to go back within. And yet, that was the place that I had to go. Because if you don't go within, you go without.
I love that. We're going to quote that. If you don't go within, then you have to be prepared to go without. And like the divine collapse. Ugh, so many women can, I think so many women I think get stuck in the mess and they start to think, right, life's happening to me and woe is me. And it's very easy to kind of get stuck in that story and that I don't want to say it, but like in that victim mentality. But it sounds like you have really learned how to turn that mess into your message. And so kind of tell me, right, like what were some of the mindset shifts that you had to, go through in order to turn that mess into your message? Because not a lot of women can do that. There's still a lot of women who get stuck in the mess and who can't get out of the darkness. And you were able to do it and you did it flawlessly. Tell us a few mindset shifts that you had to kind of go through.
Well, I appreciate the flawlessly adjective, but I'm actually going to give that back to you
Okay.
because I think that leans too far toward perfection. And I think one of the things that gets scary about it and to reflect back in those moments of victimhood, in the moments of pity party, in the moments of that despair. And it wasn't just in my 30s that I have experienced those. You know, in I'm in a stage in my life right now that I am recreating, rebuilding right now. And those are emotions and feelings that I believe do show up when you're in transformation but you have to decide if you're going to sit in them for how long. Give yourself the permission to have that. But you also have to create a requirement to move through it. Because we've all seen those people that something has happened to them in life and it's tragic. And you realize that they never ever they never gave themselves the opportunity to move from it. They stay there. And those are hard reflections. And as much as you can go outside of yourself and a coach can support you, and that's part of the work that I love doing with people is helping them be able to get through these very treacherous times of transformation. But the work comes from within. And at some point in time, you in your journal, you in your quiet time, you in that have to re-own the story, all of it, all of it. Because once you can own it all, then you get to stand back on it.
Mhm. Yeah. That's what I
And
love
it's
about ownership is I feel like it starts to take your power back, right? When you can kind of step back and say, I'm part of this creation. What can I do about it? How can I get myself out of it? A lot of that self-reflection, like how did I even get into this point? But
mm,
I think once a woman starts to kind of reflect in and go inward, like you say, and then gets quiet and, like reflects and just puts it all out there and then takes ownership
mhm.
of saying, okay, like now I know where I'm at and I know where I want to go. And these are the things that I'm willing to do to get me out of the mess and into, into the message, into my purpose, into my dreams and goals and visions. And you speak really powerful about business being a living extension of the leader. And I'm curious, why do you think we've been conditioned to believe that strategic business decisions must be heartless and what actually becomes possible when leaders lead from heart, um, instead of all the strategy?
Thank you for this.
Mm.
Well, one thing goes back to sort of the big lie of business and of work in general. And being a Generation X, we this was beat into us, and that is that the personal is not professional. So to me, that's one of the very first big lies about business. So it's about, and whether you're working as an employee or you're doing your own thing or whatever else, it's like here, show up, give all of yourself, but only this part of you can show up. And the thing is we're whole people. Okay, I mean, we're whole. We are whole individuals, all the good, bad, the messy, and all that type of stuff. And it's our strengths and weaknesses that show up that allow us to be able to generate the work and do what we do in these organizations. And so we've been taught that if you are not able to compartmentalize
Mm.
basically a majority of who you are, then there's something wrong with you, and therefore then you're not professional in the workplace and yada 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 yada. And
Yeah.
being a woman in business at 55 and been in this, in the game for over 30 something years, we could have a different podcast about what that's been like and how women negated their own femininity of being weak. And I'm one with it, right? The my divine masculine was always much more comfortable showing up in the workplace, and I could be as ruthless as the rest of them.
Hmm.
But what I tried to pride myself in was being ruthless for good.
Mm.
That was one of the things, but I had to change that word ruthless. But you asked me a specific question, and I will say this. I believe that every enterprise that anyone begins or any creation we put out in the world is a living entity. And
Mm.
if you incorporate something, you know this, you've created an entity outside of yourself. Even if you're a sole proprietor and you are the individual, you are that business. So how are we separating that? There is
Right.
no separation to that. And so when it was actually in March of 2007 when I first started thinking about this, and I was in graduate school, and I got my graduate degree in organizational management. And it was one of the very first courses that I was taking, and it had to do with CSR, corporate social responsibility, and triple bottom line, which talks about people, planet, and profit, and the added purpose to it. Well, knowing that a business, an enterprise is a living, breathing entity, we know this, right? It's dynamic, it's not static. If you do not adapt to changing conditions, it's going to die. So you have to breathe life into it. And
Mm.
breathing life into it is evolution. And so
Mm.
then I started looking at, well, don't businesses have a mind, body, heart, and soul?
Mm.
So the mind we can see as the strategy, just, on the surface here. The body we can see as the product, the service, the locate what we've put out into the world. The heart, the desire,
Mhm.
the vision, and the soul
Mm.
is our connection to all that is not, and everything in between. And you can choose how you want to believe about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's
with
so good.
the heart coming in from the heart, I'll say this to you. We do very, very, very risky things in the name of love. And most people like to think about that as just romantic love. But think about the love for your children. Think about love of your country or beliefs. Think about what you will do for that. We will put everything on the line and we will die for that. And if
Mhm.
you're going to put yourself up to an organization and put something out in the world, no matter what that creative endeavor is, it requires vulnerability and it requires risk.
Yeah.
And so, what I say to you is this: the vital organ that gave birth and life to the desire that you decided to put that business and that entity out in the world, why is it then that to be strategic, you must be loveless? That we cut the heart out when we've decided to grow and sustain an organization, the actual life force, that it would not have existed without it. And let me say one more thing, Carissa, because I don't want anybody getting twisted about this. This is not about making money. Excuse me, this is not about not making money.
Right.
That is heartless. Profit is important.
Yeah.
How do you hire employees? How do you contribute to economic prosperity? How does that business actually become the greatest version of the grandest vision that you imagined that kept you up at night if it does not? So don't get this twisted because healthy love says no more than it says yes. It has boundaries.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Not, like tapping into the heart side of the business, and really giving ourselves, you just gave us permission to tap into the heart side of business without losing our power and without losing our profitability. I had a coach one time. I had just came back from my very first trip to Kenya. I just led 9 incredible leaders on an amazing experience, a speaking tour. We spoke to, at that year, it was about 13,000 little girls. And I came back and I went to my mentor and I was like, I don't know if I want to coach anymore. Like, I was like, I don't know. I think I'm called for more. Like, I want to go over to this work. He said, Carissa, you cannot forget though that although your soul and your heart, that's soul work. He's like, you still have to build the business that builds the profit to be able to do the soul work. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. And, I just doubled down on the bit because I was like, I was ready to leave it all. I was like, oh my God, no, God put me on this earth to like, lead these movements across all these third world countries and speak and empower and like love on these little kids. And he's like, no, no, no. You get to do that and you get to build a wildly successful, profitable business. You get to go out and create a 7-figure brand and you get to lead with heart. And I just love that. And I love that you bring that into it. And one of my favorite sayings that you say, Angel, you've said it ever since I've met you, is that we get to be the most grandest versions of ourselves. And that just like sticks with me because so many women I feel don't feel that that's true for us, right? So many of us water down our message and our heart and what we truly desire because we don't think that we can get to be the grandest, greatest version of ourselves. And so I just want to always like thank you for always sharing that and showing up with that same message because every time I hear it, I get full body goosebumps. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, all right. So she didn't spill the beans about the story necessarily that she really dove into when we talk about the book, you guys. This is not her first bestseller. We both have it. Cheers to the Alpha Queens Rising book. But this beautiful entrepreneur, she just poured her heart and soul out into her chapter. It is a bestseller. You can buy this book, ladies, on Amazon. It's internationally, so you can buy it no matter what country you're in. But her quote, she said, "To experience significant change, you must change significantly." So with that, Angel, tell me what this book means for you and why you said yes to this amazing project.
As you well know, I think every single one of us in collective just did that
Hmm.
thing that we
Mhm.
said yes. I have known
Mhm.
nervous system regulation. One second.
Mhm.
This was the story that I didn't want to tell myself
Mhm.
because it was the story that I didn't want to live. And I've known for 20 years that I needed to tell it. And I did it without thinking, which is probably the only reason why I did it. It has, in the last few months of reading it and sitting with it, there's nothing in it that I'm ashamed of. But it was very, very hard to put this out there. Yeah. And when we do the keynote in March, quite frankly, this has brought me, it's really allowing me to understand some of more deeply why I think we choose particular patterns in evolution and why things show back up. And one thing I will say to everyone is when you have patterns show back up in life, if it feels familiar yet foreign, that's a good thing. Familiar to understanding what the pattern was, foreign, because you're going through it now and you're not the same person that you were 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the last time this happened, or the last time you chose this. And when you understand that that foreignness is a reflection of your evolution, and you get to choose how you will respond now and who you are now. And yes, that is part of your divine purpose of creating, experiencing, and becoming the greatest versions of your grandest visions. It's a requirement, and it is not easy. But do not, please, do not do what I did to me. Honor it.
Yeah.
It has taken me the past few months to learn how to honor this. And I will tell everyone that chooses transformation, you will vacillate, and it's okay. It's not a straight line. It's not linear. Do not give up on yourself. Know that your worth, your purpose, even if there's no one else around you willing to see it, feel it, or be a part of it. Be that for you. And when you do that, you will know that you are enough no matter what, because you matter no matter what. Yeah. I promise you that. I promise you that.
I love that. Thank you, Angel, for that openness, that vulnerability, and for reminding us all that we get to take that powerful pause and regulate our nervous system back. I really appreciate that. Just true iconic leadership right there. Ladies, if you're watching this or you're listening to this, we don't edit our episodes because we're all about realness and rawness. And, I think it's like sexy marketing. Honestly, the business coach in me is like, this is sexy marketing when you can be vulnerable and you can be real, because honestly, we don't need another fake ass smile going around, right? We don't need more women who are shoving their shit down and pretending that everything's okay, because it's messy and it gets to be messy, and it's okay if it's messy, and it's okay to take a pause, and it's okay to sit with things and that don't feel good, because that is how we grow. That is how, we expand our businesses. That's how we expand in our life. And I absolutely love that. So you kind of talked about the Rise event. If you guys are just listening, the Alpha Queens Rising collaborative book, right, that Angel was in, she's featured in it, is a best-selling book. It's called Alpha Queens Rising, Where Purpose Meets Power and Women Rise into the Alpha Queen Era. She is one of 10 beautiful women on the back of this cover. But ultimately, my goal for these ladies was, I was like, I want to elevate them, right? If you guys know me, sisterhood is like a core value of mine. I truly believe that we as women can rise together, we can stand together, and we can grow businesses together. And so when I was thinking, how can I get these women? Because I asked them, I said, why did you do this? And they almost every single one of them said, well, Carissa, we want to impact more lives. And I said, okay, well, if we really want to truly impact more lives, we got to get this book out into as many hands as possible. But I'm going to just create an event. I'm going to create an event where we're going to put 200, 300, 400 women in a room, and we are going to invite them to come in, listen to these stories, share these, experiences with these women, and feel activated, feel the energy of a collective sisterhood, because that is powerful. So Rise is happening on March 19th. It's not just an event, it's an experience, is what I like to say. So Angel, what can women expect to feel, release, or step into when they enter the Rise space with you? When you're on stage, what do you think that they're going to feel and release and step into?
Belonging, acceptance, and back belonging within herself.
Mm.
Embody the royal you. Embody all of that that's within you. And Carissa, may I please, because it is so important to me right now that I shout out to Alpha Queens, and we are at the last thing. And may I please do this right now?
Of course. I will always
I'm
let you
dying. I'm
shout out
dying. I'm
the
dying. I'm
queens.
dying. I'm dying. I'm like, please, 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 please. Number one, you. I so
Aw.
enjoyed reading your story. I am grateful for you for standing on your story and then providing a platform for the rest of us to stand on ours. I'm eternally grateful to you. Thank you.
I received
Number
that.
two, Larissa Mitchell-Reed, first-time author. Congratulations, Queen. Thank you for acknowledging me. I love you to the moon and back. Take care of yourself, my friend. And know that I always wish the best for you. I'm extraordinarily proud of you that you are doing this and everything that you're doing. And last but not least, yes, I am a 2-time best-selling author, but tomorrow I will be a 3-time best-selling author. Tomorrow, join me at 2:00 Pacific because the 9th edition of Women's Speaker Association, Unstoppable Women Standing Strong. I am an author in that, and I'll be announcing that tomorrow. So I'm super, super excited. It's a big week in February, and I'm just so looking forward to 2026 and everything we got going on. Cannot wait to get to Omaha in March. I mean, just countdown, 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 and having that room filled with 200 entrepreneurs. So get your tickets.
Absolutely. You guys, if you are interested, I don't care if you're local in Nebraska or if you're flying in, we've got you covered. Please join us on March 19th for an epic transformational experience. It's a full day activation. You're going to hear from 9 incredible keynotes. You're going to get your Alpha Queens Rising book signed. There's VIP tickets. I think maybe only 5 or 6 VIP tickets left. We've been in early bird ticket sales for a couple of weeks now, and they just went hot, but definitely plenty of general admission tickets are available. So ladies, if today's conversation moves something in you, if it reminded you that leadership gets to be embodied and heart-led and powerful, make sure you subscribe to Iconic Leadership Show. And then, of course, go out to our show summary and connect with Angel. All of her information is down in the show notes, including the spot where you can grab your tickets, as well as your copy of Alpha Queens Rising. So this show is here to support you as you rise, as you lead, and as you build a business that actually matches the woman you're becoming. So go ahead, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a woman in your life who is ready to rise into that next level of leadership power. So ladies, until next week, lead boldly, choose intentionally, and remember, you are iconic. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Iconic Leadership. If today's conversation activated something within you, make sure you subscribe and share this podcast with women who are ready to rise up too. Leaving a review helps this movement reach more women stepping into their power. This is Iconic